The day ends. Finishing a rowdy dinner and seeing Fujine off, I take a bath. After that, I practice my daily routine in the shed. I complete it as usual and go to sleep. It is 1 in the morning. The day ends peacefully without any troubles. I'm in a fire, collapsing buildings and burning people. No matter how far I run, the scenery is always red. This is a vision of 10 years ago, a memory of the distant past I haven't remembered in a while. I run through it as if recreating the scene. There's no escape, even though I know it's a dream. I run, keep running. In the end, where I end up is how I'm saved after running out of energy. I wake up with a bad feeling. A feeling like a metal weight is inside my chest. I feel my forehead and find that I'm sweating a lot, even though it's winter. It's already past 6 o'clock. From the kitchen I can hear the sound of the kitchen knife cutting something. There's no time to be impressed. I have to get ready quickly and go help fix breakfast.
Shiro, 今日どうするのよ? 土曜日だから午後はアルバイト?
No, today's Saturday, no?
いや、バイトは入ってないよ。一世のところで何かやってると思うけど、それがどうかしたか？
別に。暇だったら道場の方に遊びに来てくんないかなーって。私、今月ピンチなのだ。
ピンチって何がさ？
お財布事情がピンチなの。誰かがお弁当を作ってくれると嬉しいんだけどな。
Doesn't she get paid?
断る。自業自得だ。たまには一食ぐらい抜いた方がいい。
で、シローには期待してないもん。私が頼りにしてるのはさくらちゃんだけなんだから。ね、さくらちゃん。はい。私と同じものでよろしければ用意しておきますね。オッケーオッケー。じゃあ今日は一緒にお昼を食べましょう。
Breakfast continues as usual. Today, along with the usual, there's a simmered lotus root with chicken. I don't think she has to make anything this elaborate for breakfast, but I think she made a lot of it to take for lunch too. Sakura is a member of the archery club, and Fujine is in charge of the archery club. It's natural for them to share lunches.
そういえばシロー、今朝は遅かったけど何かあった？
Fujine looks at me, sipping her miso soup. Geez, she's usually slow, but she gets sharp only at times like this.
昔の夢を見た。寝覚めがすっげえ悪かっただけで、あとはなんともない。
なんだ、いつものことか。なら安心かな。
Fujine ends the conversation like she's not interested. I'm not worried at all about it either, so I shouldn't get mad about it. 10 years ago, I used to have nightmares back when I couldn't get the fire out of my mind. But I saw less of it as time passed, and I'm well over it now that I can let it slide even after dreaming about it. But I guess it was pretty bad back then. Since Fujine has been here since that time, she's sensitive to my change.
シロー、食欲はある？今朝に限ってないとかない？
ない。なんともないんだから、人の夢にかこつけて飯を横取りするな。
シローが強くなってくれて嬉しいけど、もうちょっと繊細でいてくれた方がいいな、お姉ちゃんは。
そりゃこっちのセリフだ。もうちょっと可憐になってくれた方がいいぞ。
We make fun of each other without looking at each other. That proves my liveliness, and Fujine laughs with relief. To be honest, I'm glad she's worrying. But she'll be elated if I thank her, so I act like I'm discontented. Not knowing the circumstances, Sakura looks puzzled at the way we are acting. After Fujine leaves, we lock the house and leave.
先輩、今日の夜から月曜日までお手伝いに来れませんけどよろしいですか？
別にいいよ。だって土日だろ？さくらだって付き合いがあるんだから気にすることないぞ。
そんな違います。そういうんじゃないです。本当に個人的な用事でちゃんと部活にだって から変な勘違いはしないでもらえると助かります。
Huh? Sakura is acting suspicious and she looks very tense. I don't really understand what she wants to say, but I guess she just means she can't come over this weekend.
わかった。なんかあったら道場に行くよ。
Really suspicious.
そうしてもらえれば嬉しいです。
Sakura looks relieved, and when she looks down, her face suddenly stiffens.
先輩って。
Sakura is staring at my left hand. Looking down at it, it's bleeding.
あれ
I pull up my sleeve. How did that happen? There's certainly blood there.
なんだこれ。昨日の夜ガラクタいじってて切ったかな。
But it doesn't hurt at all. There's just a welt on there. The welt goes straight from my shoulder down to the hand, and it looks kind of like a small snake running from my shoulder to my hand.
ま、痛みもないし、すぐに引くだろう。大丈夫。気にするほどじゃない。
先輩がそう言うのでしたら気にしません。
Perhaps she's feeling bad from seeing the blood as Sakura looks away and falls silent. I leave Sakura, who has club activities, and head to the school building. The schoolyard is full of spirited students running around. But still, there's something oddly wrong here. The school is like it always is. The students at morning practice are lively, and the new school building is spotless.
気のせいか。
But when I close my eyes, the air completely changes. The school building is covered with stains like membranes, and the students running around the schoolyard seem like empty dolls.
疲れてるのかな。
I shake my head to clear it. I head to the lifeless building. School ends early on Saturdays. Classes end before noon, and after I finish helping Issei afterwards, the sun is starting to set.
さて、そろそろ帰るか。
I pack up and leave my classroom. And then,
なんだ
that guy.
まだ学校にいたんだエミヤ
I bump into Shinji. There are a couple of girls behind him, being rowdy.
やることもないくせにまだ残ってたのああそうかまた生徒会にごますってたわけねいいねエミヤは部活なんてやんなくても内心稼げるんだからさ
生徒会の手伝いじゃないぞ。学校の備品を直すのは生徒として当たり前だろ。使ってるのは俺たちなんだから。
よく言うよエミヤに言わせればなんだって当たり前だからねそういういい子ぶりが勘に触るって前に言わなかったっけ
And I hate how you act like an asshole all the time.
すまん。よく覚えていない。それシンジの口癖だと思っていたからどうも聞き流してたみたいだ。
そうかいそれじゃあ学校にあるものなら何でも直してくれるんだ
何でも直すなんて無理だ。せいぜい面倒見るぐらいだが。
よしなら頼まれてくれようちの弓道場さ今割と散らかってるんだよね暇ならさそっちの方もよろしくやってくれないかな元弓道部員だろ生徒会になんか尻尾振ってないでたまには僕たちの役に立ってくれ
Well, if you pay me.
ちょっと先輩それって先輩が藤村先生に言われてたことじゃなかった？
そうですよ。ちゃんとやっておかないと明日怒られますよ。
でもさ今から片付けしてたら店閉まるじゃんそこの人がやってくれるんならそれでいいんじゃないの？
悪いよ。それに部外者に後片付けなんかできるわけないし。
そうでもないんじゃない？あの人元弓道部員だってシンジが言ってるしさ任せちゃえばいいのよ。
They're getting rowdy behind Shinji. It seems they're in the archery club, but they must be members that Shinji recruited recently as I don't know them.
じゃああとはよろしく鍵の場所は変わってないから勝手にやっといてよ
なあ構わないよ。どうせ暇だったからたまにはこういうのも悪くない。
サンキュー それじゃあ行こうぜみんな。つまんない雑用はあいつがやっといてくれるってさ。
待ってよ先輩。じゃああとはよろしくお願いしますね先輩。
The cleaning ends quite easily as I know the place well. It took a while as it is quite big, but it was fun cleaning the place I used until a year and a half ago. I picked up a bow thinking it might be okay to shoot just once, but since it wasn't mine, I decided not to. If I ever want to, I can just bring my own bow and come here. But there are so many more carbon bows now, there was only one when I was in my first year. Carbon-based bows are good, unlike wood and plastic bows. But the biggest problem is the price, and they are not something we could buy with a club budget. Back then, Shinji was the only one using it. Are the new members rich too? What a waste. You can modify a wooden bow a lot more. Well, I guess that's personal taste right there. When I look at the clock, it's way past curfew. It's a little after 7 o'clock. The gates should be closed by now, so there's no reason to rush now. But still. Was this dojo always this dirty? There are loads of places that look unkept.
ここまで来たら1時間も2時間も変わらないか。
I started this, so I'll finish the job. The wind is blowing. It's so cold that my cheeks are getting numb. Fuyuki City isn't usually cold during the winter, but it is cold tonight of all nights. My breath hangs around as a white cloud. I wrap up my body to hold off the cold.
なんだ。暗いと思ったら月が隠れてるのか。
There's no light in the sky when I look up. Because of the strong winds, the clouds are moving fast. It's past curfew and there's no sign of life in the empty school. It seems this place is filled only with chill as it's all silent. What's that noise? It sounded familiar just now. I think I hear something.
確かに聞こえる。校庭の方か。
This night, I must have been curious about the sound that broke the silence. To investigate it, I find myself heading there even though I somehow know that I mustn't. I go to the schoolyard.
人？
Well, they only look like that from a distance. It's a dark night with no lights. If I want to know more, I'll have to go closer to the schoolyard. I can hear the sounds louder now. It's the sound of metal hitting metal. That must mean someone is fighting with weapons there.
バカバカしい。何考えてるんだ俺。
I dismiss the image from my mind with a bitter smile and walk on. At that time, maybe my instincts noticed the danger as I hit myself as I approached. I don't know if this is fortunate or not. But anyways, when I get by a tree that is big enough to hide myself, I take a closer look at the source of the sound. My mind stops completely. There's something strange there. A man in red and a man in blue. They are dangerously armed as their ominous appearance suggests, they're actually slashing at each other. I can't understand. I can't follow them with my eyes. My brain does not work properly faced with their impossible movements. But the clang of their weapons tells me they are trying to kill each other. I just knew immediately when I saw them. They are not human. They are probably just things that look like humans. I can tell not because I'm learning magic. Anyone would realize they are not human. After all, humans can't move like that. So they are something no one should associate with. I can feel the murderous intent even from a distance. I'm going to die. My body understands faster than my brain that I will definitely die if I stay here. That's why my heart is racing so fast. As a living thing like them, I sense that they are living things made only to kill. They're using weapons made only to kill. I remember the murder yesterday. They said the family was killed with some weapon like a sword. I shouldn't watch any longer, but my body won't follow my commands and I can't even breathe. My mind wants to run away, but my judgment tells me I'll be seen in the moment I run away. More than the conflict within me, my body is just numb. Even though I'm a good 40 meters away, I can't breathe properly, and it's like I have a spear pointed right at my back. The sounds stop. The figures separate and stand facing each other. The moment I feel relief at the end of their battle, I sense an even stronger intention to kill. My heart stops. The numbness in my body becomes convulsions, and I clench my teeth to try to hold my trembling body. Also, that the moment where Lancer prepared his noble phantasm.
嘘だ。なんだあいつ。
An overwhelming amount of magical energy is flowing into the guy in blue. Kiritsugu showed me once what it's like to draw in magical energy from the surroundings. It was a beautiful magic that impressed even an amateur like me. But that thing is different. Just as even the simple task of drinking water could seem ugly if it goes too far, what he is doing is so excessive that anyone with knowledge of magical energy would hate it. He's going to die. The guy in red is going to die. It's a blow with that much concentrated magic energy. There's no way he'll be able to survive it. He'll die. He's not human, so something merely like a human will die. That's something I can just ignore. That doubt takes my mind off of them. The binds on my body disappear, and the instant I take a deep breath.
誰だ?
The guy in blue stares at me, who is hiding. The blue guy's body sinks. Just that motion tells me that I'm his target now. My legs start running automatically. I finally realize that it is an action to escape death, and I put all the energy in my body into running away. I don't know how fast I run, but before I know it, I'm in the school building.
何を。バカな。
I regret my actions, panting heavily. I should have run into town to get away. What am I doing fleeing to such a deserted place? And a school of all things. Isn't there some better place to hide than here? Anyway, so why do I think I'll be killed if I don't escape? My heart aches from running so much. Turning around, I can sense nothing pursuing me. The only sound in the air is the sound of my footsteps. So I can finally rest. I stop my feet, unable to take another step, send oxygen to my pumping heart, and look up to finally realize that I am safe.
何だったんだ今の。
I recall the scene from earlier while catching my breath. Anyway, I'm sure that it wasn't something I should have seen. Some things like humans were fighting in the school grounds. That's all I can remember. But there was something else I saw out of the corner of my eye.
もう一人誰かいた気がするけど。
But I can't remember what that figure looked like. To be honest, I didn't have the composure to notice anything other than those two fighting.
けどこれでともかく。
追いかけっこは終わ
Oh
り。
shit. The voice comes from right in front of me.
いや、割と遠くまで走ったな。
He speaks in a friendly tone. I can't breathe. My brain stops, and even though I cannot think, I vaguely understand that I'm going to die.
逃げられないってのはお前自身が誰よりも分かってたんだろう。何やられる側ってのは得てしてそういうもんだ。別に恥じることじゃない。
The lance is casually raised.
運が悪かったな、坊主。ま、見られたからには死んでくれや。
And the man's lance mercilessly pierces Emiya Shiro's heart. There wasn't even time to dodge it. All the training I did was for nothing. I knew I was going to be killed. I knew I was going to be pierced by that lance, yet I could not move at all. The world distorts. My body grows cold. Feeling vanishes from my fingertips. I cough up blood once. More blood should have come up, but it only happens once. Perhaps the man's lance is special. The blood slowly clots and the heart that should have exploded stops working with just a single pierce. I can't see well. There's no feeling in me. I feel like a jellyfish floating in the dark sea at night. I don't feel any pain already. The world is white and only I am black. So, rather than feeling like I'm dead, it's more like the world around me has disappeared. I know this. I felt this 10 years ago. This is how someone felt when dying.
死人に口なしってな
Feels.
弱いやつがくたばるのは当然といえば当然だが
I cannot concentrate on my vision.
まったく嫌な仕事をさせてくれるこのざまで英雄とは笑い草だ
I can only hear voices.
分かっている文句はないさ女のサーバントは見たんだおとなしく戻ってやれよ
Who is he talking to? A voice filled with irritation. And after that I hear footsteps running through the hallway.
アーチャーか蹴りをつけておきたいところだがマスターの方針を破るわけにもいくまいまったくいけすかねえマスターだこと
The voice suddenly disappears. I guess he jumped out of a window or something. And after that... Footsteps approach me and stop. In that brief period, more footsteps. I can't hear much now.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握しないと。
Whose voice was that? I concentrate my fading mind, but I can't remember anything. Right now, my breathing is too noisy. My lungs must still be alive. The air coming out of my mouth is as loud as a hurricane.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはすごいな。
I sense someone looking at my face. Perhaps my breathing was loud as the figure tries to close my mouth and...
やめてよね。なんだってあんたが。
I hear the person grit their teeth, then they touch me without hesitation.
破損した臓器を偽造して代用。その間に心臓一つ丸々修復か。こんなの成功したら時計塔に一発合格ってレベルじゃない。
A pain-filled voice. With that, my mind stops fading. Feeling returns to my body. Slowly, bit by bit, like a drop of water going down a leaf, feeling returns to my body. What is the person doing? The person is sweating and places their hand on my chest with all their heart. When I notice the place where the person placed their hand is terribly hot. It must be so hot that the frozen blood melted and started to flow again. I sense someone take a deep breath and sit down.
疲れた。
I hear a clang of something falling.
まあ仕方ないか。ごめんなさい父さん。あなたの娘はとんでもなく薄情者です。
And that's it. The person speaks to mock themselves and leaves. My heart resumes its activity. And then my mind stops. This is not the sleep of death. This is a restful sleep to recover the energy to wake up again. I wake up. I feel sick, my whole body is in pain, and I have a sharp headache each time my heart throbs.
何が起きた
I can't remember because of the sharp headache. My body's cold, probably from lying on the floor for a long time. The only certain thing is my ripped uniform and my own blood on the floor. I get up with a hazy head. The spot where I was lying looks like a murder scene.
本当に
Had my chest pierced? Bearing the pain, I enter the closest classroom. Moving to a locker with unsteady steps, I take out a mop and a bucket.
何してんだろ俺
I'm still in a panic. Why do I still think I have to clean up when I've just met something totally outrageous and be killed instantly? Am I an idiot?
くそ落ちない
I wipe the floor with a mop, which, with unsteady hands, I manage to get the blood wiped off and pick up any trash lying around and put it into my pocket. Maybe I'm destroying the evidence. I'm still in a daze, so perhaps that's why I'm doing something so absurd. I put back the mop and bucket and leave the school like a zombie. I get hotter as I walk. The air is so cold, but it feels like my body's burning. When I get home, the day has already changed. There's no one home. Neither Fujine nor Sakura is around now. I collapse to the floor. I lie on the ground and finally calm down. I take a deep breath. When I inhale, my heart cries in pain as if cracking apart. No, that's wrong. It wasn't just cracked. It had a hole in it, but it healed, and the wound tries to open up again when I inhale.
殺されかけたのは本当か。
No, that's wrong too. I wasn't almost killed. I was actually killed. But I'm still alive in spite of that because someone saved me.
誰だったんだあれ。礼ぐらい言わせてほしいもんだけど。
Since the person was there, that person might have something to do with them. But that makes no difference to the fact that the person saved me. I have to thank them one of these days. What now? The moment I let my guard down, the pain returns. At the same time, I feel like vomiting. I sit up and resist the sickness. I place my hand on my bare chest where the uniform is ripped. Even though I was saved, I did have a hole in my chest. That feeling, such an unpleasant feeling, a spearhead entering my body, isn't something I can forget easily.
くそ、しばらく夢に見るぞこれ。
If I close my eyes, it feels like the lance is still in me. I shake off that illusion and try to calm down.
よし、落ち着いてきた。
The result of all the training every night. Just taking a few deep breaths clears my mind, and the heat and nausea vanish from my body.
それで、あれのことだけど。
The man in blue and the man in red. They looked human, but I don't think they were. Were they like ghosts or something? But I've never heard of ghosts with form, able to associate directly with people. They were talking too. If they have their own will, it's hard for me to think of them as ghosts. I fear that the only ghosts with a body are spirits, but aren't they shaped differently from humans?
いや、問題はそんなじゃなくて。
There's another fundamental problem. Those two who were killing each other. The murderous burglar that has appeared in the neighborhood. The ongoing ominous events in Fuyuki City. All I can tell with such thoughts is that it's way out of my league.
こんな時、親父が生きてれば。
Perhaps because the wound on my chest is so vivid, I complain about things I shouldn't.
まぬけ。わからなくても、自分にできることをやるって決めてるじゃないか。
Complaining comes later. First I have to decide whether or not it's my concern. What was that? The bell hung from the ceiling rings. This is a Magus' house, even if only a poor one. There's a boundary fear that alerts me when a stranger enters the property.
こんな時に泥棒か。
As I speak, I realize my foolishness. That can't be it. With this timing, right after that strange incident, that can't be it. There's an intruder. Not a burglar, but an assassin who's here for my life. Because I remember that guy saying, "You saw us, so die." The house is filled with silence. In the silent darkness, the murderous intent I felt at school is slowly drawing closer. My throat gulps. I feel a sharp chill running down my spine. I will be instantly pierced if I move from this room. I frantically contain the scream about to escape my mouth. The instant I release it, the assassin will happily jump in and take the opportunity to kill me. If that happens, it will be just like before. I'm prepared I will be pierced by that lance again. The moment I think about it, my breathing goes wild. Damn it. I'm ashamed that I'm about to give up my saved life so easily and that I'm afraid. Gritting my teeth and holding my chest, I try to restrain myself. I should get used to it. This is the second time. This is the second time I'm about to be killed. That alone is enough to make me want it to end differently from last time. Besides, I'm a magus. What have I been learning for the past 8 years if I can't even protect my own life?
いいぜやってやろうじゃないか
Enough thinking. Right now, I just have to counter the intruder.
まずは武器をどうにかしないと
Even though I'm a magus, all I can do is strengthen something that could be a weapon. To fight, I need a weapon. The shed has lots of things that could become weapons, but it's too far away. If I'm attacked when I leave the living room, it will just be a repeat of what happened earlier. It will be difficult, but I have to find a weapon here. Something long and thin would be best. My opponent's weapon is a lance, so something like a knife won't do. It would be great if there were a wooden sword or something, but of course, there's nothing. If anything here could be a weapon, it's...
うわ藤姉が置いてったポスターしかね
Ah, yeah, that's right, it's made out of steel, isn't it? I'm disappointed, but despite that, I'm determined even in this hopeless situation. Things are already as bad as they can be, so they can't get any worse. So all I have to do is run forward until I run out of energy.
トレス
With the words that suggest my reconstruction, I channel magic energy into the 60 centimeter long poster. I have to turn it into something that can repel that lance, so I need to channel magic energy into every corner and solidify it.
構成材質解明
I extend my consciousness. As if soaking my blood into the poster through my skin, I permeate magic energy into it.
構成材質補強
A sense that I fit the bottom. Right before the magic energy overflows from it,
トレスオフ
I cut off all connection with the poster and shudder at the feeling of success. The poster is now as hard as metal, but it is as light as it was before, so I couldn't ask for a better sword.
うまくいった
How many years has it been since I last succeeded the strength in magic? It's kind of ironic, the magic I've never been able to achieve since Kiritsugu died is finally working in this kind of situation.
ともあれこれで
I might be able to do something. I have some knowledge of how to use a sword. I hold the poster with both hands and stand up. I'll die anyway if I stay here, and I don't think I would be able to flee even if I escaped this house. So all I can do is to run straight to the shed and make a stronger weapon. Come if you're going to come. It won't be like before, the instant I think that. My whole spine shivers. When did he arrive? Appearing from the ceiling, the guy drops straight at me. Silver light descends upon me. The guy that seems to have come straight through the ceiling descends to pierce my head. I frantically escape by rolling forward. He lands softly while I keep rolling, but I stop rolling and stand with my freshly made sword in hand. He turns to face me, looking bored.
余計な手間を見えていればいたかろうと俺なりの配慮だったのだがな
He raised his lance again, seemingly uninterested. I don't know why, but he lacks the spirit he had at the school ground. In that case, I might be able to outwit him.
まったく一日に同じ人間を二度殺す羽目になるとはないつになろうと人の世は血生臭いということか
The man is complaining as if he thinks nothing of me. I slowly move backwards. It's about 3 more meters to the window. Once out the window, it's about 20 meters to the shed. Then I can run off this instant.
じゃあな今度こそ迷うなよ坊主
He says blankly as if sighing it out. Pain assails my right arm. It happened in an instant. The man's lance is thrust without time for me to react. I would have faced my second death with that blow, but what prevented it was my newly made sword. He must have thought it was just paper. The lance, thrust as if the poster wasn't there, was deflected by it and only skimmed my right arm.
ほう変わった芸風だなおい
The man's expression goes away. His carelessness disappears and he's now staring at me with beast-like eyes. I screwed up. I was just being stupidly optimistic when I thought I could do something. The thing before me is a monster beyond belief. Painfully, I realize my foolishness for letting my guard down even slightly against him. That's right. If I had been really desperate, I should have ran frantically to the window as soon as I miraculously avoided his first attack.
ただの坊主かと思ったが、なるほど。微弱だが魔力を感じる。心臓をうがたれて生きているってのはそういうことか。
He points his lance at me. I won't be able to block it. I can't possibly block that lightning-fast blow. If his weapon were a sword, I might have been able to at least prepare for it, but that's a lance. A sword follows a line, but a lance has a point. How am I supposed to block a blow from a point that I can't even see coming?
いいぜ。少しは楽しめそうじゃないか。
The man's body descends. In that instant, his lance is swung sideways. I block the lance coming at my face with just my instincts.
いい子だ。ほら次行くぞ。
There's a huge whirlwind. I don't know how he's moving the lance in this small room, but it makes a beautiful arc and comes to attack my body from the other side. My constructed sword moved to stop it, bends. Is he using a hammer? Damn, this numbness feels like I've broken the bones in my arm. I swing the sword instinctively. He must take me lightly as he hasn't pulled back his lance, so I flick away the shaft with my sword. The arms that hit it go numb. The sword bends even more and the man's lance only moves slightly.
使えねえな。機械をくれてやったのに無駄な真似しやがって。まあ、魔術師に切り合いを望んでも仕方ねえんだろうが。
The man was just playing with me. He let me hit him once since I blocked him twice, but I used up my one and only chance for just the makeshift attack. That's why he sees no point in fighting me anymore.
拍子抜けだ。やはりすぐに死ねよ。
He readies his lance again. During that small unnecessary movement, without looking behind me, I jump out the window. I break the window with my back and roll outside. I roll a few times, get up and... Without a thought, I turn and swing behind me. The man hesitates a moment as I deflected his lance thrust. As I expected. If I jumped out the window, he would definitely come after me. And he would kill me even before I could get up. That's why I expected the fatal blow and swung at it. It was a bold plan. I would have died if it was a second too late or a second too early, but considering the difference in our skill, I could never have been too early. So all I had to do was get up as fast as possible and swing at what was coming behind me. The result was perfect. I won my bet and deflected the man's lance. I quickly regain my balance. Now I have to make it to the shed before he recovers.
飛べ。
The man who supposedly had his lance knocked away comes up to me empty-handed and spins and executes a roundhouse kick. The scenery flies past me. My battered chest is numb and I cannot breathe. No, what's more surprising is I'm flying. I never in my dreams thought that I would be sent flying by a mere roundhouse kick. I fall to the ground from my back. I hit a wall and come crashing down. I can't breathe. My vision is blurred. I manage to stand, supporting myself against the wall of my destination, the shed. I track the man with my blurry vision. I must have been kicked 20 meters. The man approaches, lance in hand. I'll be killed. I'll definitely be killed. The man will be here in a second. If I don't want to die now, I have to get up and face him. The lance comes out at me. I can't even turn around fully and my collapsing body faces the man's lance. How fortunate! I got lucky as I couldn't hold myself up and my knees collapsed. The lance goes over my head and hits the door of the shed, opening it. So, this is my last chance. If I go in the shed, there should be something that I could use as a weapon. I enter the shed on all fours. There.
そら、 これでしまいだ。
A fatal, inescapable blow is thrust.
こんな
And I block it. I unroll the poster and make it into a one-time shield. A huge impact. The opened up poster did block the lance, but it was not strong enough. It pierced through and transforms back into its original paper. Hit by the impact of the thrust lance, I am flung to the wall. I fall on my butt and recover myself. When I raise my head to try to find a weapon,
爪だ。今のは割と驚かされたぜ、坊主。
the man is pointing the lance at me. Oh, this is it. The man's lance is pointed directly at my heart. I know this. This is the smell of death I felt just a few hours ago.
しかし、わからねえな。起点は効くくせに魔術はからっきしときた。筋はいいようだが、まだ若すぎたか。
I can't hear him. My mind is focused only on the weapon in front of me. It's only natural. Because I'll die when that thing is thrust. So everything else is gone from my mind. What else can I think about now that things have ended up like this?
もしやとは思うが、お前が7人目だったのかもな。
The seventh one? What's he talking about?
ま、だとしても、これで終わりなんだが。
The man's arm moves. The movement I couldn't even see before looks like it's in slow motion now. The running silver light. The spearhead moves straight for my heart. It will spill blood in the next second. I know this feeling. The feeling of metal running into in me. The taste of blood coming up my throat. The sense of the world around me disappearing. I felt all of it earlier. And I have to experience it again? Really? I don't understand. Why do I have to go through this? This is bullshit. I can't accept this. I can't just die here meaninglessly. I was saved, so I can't die so easily. I have to live and fulfill my obligations. If I die, I can't do that. But the lance will pierce me. The spearhead will cut into my flesh and pierce my heart. It pisses me off. It's ridiculous to kill someone that easily. It's ridiculous for me to die so easily. Dying twice in one day, that's ridiculous as well. Damn, everything is so screwed up that I can't contain it all and...
ふざけるな。俺は。
won't be killed meaninglessly by someone like you. Truly, it
何
appeared like magic. In a blinding light, it appears from behind me. My mind stops. All I know is that the figure who appeared is a girl. The moment it appears, it repels the lance thrust at my heart and steps up to the enemy without hesitation.
本気か。7人目のサーバントだと。
The man readies his deflected lance and the girl swings something she's holding. Sparks fly twice. A strong swing. The man hesitates, receiving a heavy blow from the girl. He must have realized he is at a disadvantage as he jumps out of the shed with bestial speed. While keeping her guard up against the man, she quietly turns to me. Who is she? The wind is strong today. The clouds drift and the moon appears for a brief moment. The silver light that shines into the shed lights up the girl in knightly form. I am speechless, not because I'm confused by the sudden turn of events. I am at a loss for words because of this girl's overwhelming beauty. The girl stares at me emotionlessly with her jewel-like eyes.
とう、あなたが私のマスターか。
She says in a valiant voice, Valiant.
マスター
I only repeated back her words. I don't know who she is or what she's talking about. All I know is that this small girl is the same kind of being as the man outside. The girl says nothing and just stares at me silently. How can I put this? The figure in front of me is so special that I forget the situation, that the man outside could come and attack at any second. It feels like time has stopped just around me. The fear of death has disappeared and only the girl fills my vision.
サーバントセーバー、召喚に従い参上した。マスター、指示を。
She speaks again. The instant I hear the words master and servant, a pain shoots through my left hand. It's like a hot iron has been placed on my hand. I grab my left hand instinctively. That must have been a signal as the girl quietly nods her lovely face.
これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。ここに契約は完了した。
契約って何の？
Even though I have some knowledge of magic, I understand what that word means. But the girl doesn't answer me and looks away with the same grace she had when she nodded. She looks at the door of the shed. There stands the man, his lance ready in his hand.